Well, regardless of whether or not it was Agatha all along, it will be Agatha again. So news broke that Marvel is currently developing a spin-off series for Kathryn Hahn as Agatha Harkness, spinning off from WandaVision. And I have a feeling, as one of the outliers who not only didn't love WandaVision, but felt that the introduction of her and the reveal of her as Agatha kind of marked the point at which the whole thing fell apart for me. I did a whole video, if you don't know my views on that. I kind of feel like I almost have a duty to weigh in on this, because obviously a big part of the reaction, that at least that I've seen, is just elation, like, oh, more Agatha, yay, and like memeing the song and all that stuff. And that's fine. I'm not trying to dampen anybody's enthusiasm, but maybe hear from somebody who is not initially going to come from this place of already loving this character. So, a couple of things about this. The first is, I said this at the time, and I'll say it again, Kathryn Hahn is very good. She's a very good actress, and I think that she will be good in whatever she is given to do, including this. So, no issues with her. The other thing is, my primary issue with Agatha Harkness in WandaVision had to do with the fact that the story had absolutely no use for her. It's a story that did not need a villain. And the fact that they took what in the comics is a relatively complicated character and boiled her down to evil witch, definitely evil, no nuance to this, that was frustrating, but the show definitely didn't need that. And look, Agatha All Along, that's a great song. Everybody loves it. That's fine. But that is not the whole of her use. And I felt like she derailed that show. I've said it before, the natural ending for that show, I don't necessarily know what it is or what it should have been, but what it's not is a magical wizard fight in the sky. Nothing about what the story was about, literally or metaphorically, leads to that. It felt incredibly shoehorned in. Didn't like it at all. That having been said, I'm not completely against this idea. Firstly, because, as I said, Kathryn Hahn's great. So, put her in a situation where the character works better, and she will do great things with it. I have no doubts about that. The other thing is that I said they kind of made Agatha Harkness a very black and white character. In a way that, like, if you know Agatha Harkness from the comics, I think probably frustrated a fair number of people who are familiar with or at least are attached to the character. I mean, lots of people are probably familiar with her, but, like, don't give a dang. Fair. Like, I'm not that invested in her, but I know there's more to her than just mwah ha 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 ha. So the fact that that's what it got boiled down to in a show that didn't need a big villain at all, the villain was pain and grief and, trying to process your own issues without hurting other people. That was the villain. And Agatha isn't even representative of that. And okay, I need to get off that. Anyways, I think that giving her her own show could give you the chance to flesh her out and give her nuance so that she isn't quite so black and white. But even saying that, I'm not necessarily saying you have to humanize and make an anti-hero out of her. If you wanted to take, say, the route of the Missy series on Big Finish. Okay, so Doctor Who has a whole series of audio adventures done by a company called Big Finish. And they have, I think, 3 series now, 3 box sets of ones for Missy, which was Michelle Gomez's character during Moffat's era, who is absolutely a bad guy, and like definitely is during the time periods the first box set is set, which is the only one I've heard so far. I know there's more. I haven't had time. But if they wanted to go that approach, which is, no, she's definitely still the bad guy, but put her in situations where it allows there to be more shades to her personality, even though her motives and goals will always be wicked, that could work. As I say, you don't necessarily have to anti-hero this to give her more nuance. I actually, given how much fun people had with what happened, that's probably not the thing to do. But I am going to look to things like Missy or like the War Master series. Again, Big Finish reference. When Big Finish centers something on a villain, they're very careful not to undercut the villainy of them, to not make them less monstrous or try to justify their monstrosity. But they do put them in situations where you still find yourself at least a little bit kind of rooting for them to succeed, even if in the back of your mind you're like, that would be a very bad thing. You still can't help but do it. I think that would be the best approach to go. That said, it could be a free-for-all in terms of genre and tone on this, given that WandaVision itself was already such a weird outlier. And taking a character from that to do their own thing, it would be especially interesting if the thing is set post WandaVision, which personally I would prefer, because I feel like doing a prequel is kind of the easy way to go about it, and just have it be all like, oh, here's what she was up to prior to that. Like, I'm kind of more interested to see how the events of WandaVision changed her. How that diverted her path or diverted her mission or diverted her approach to what it is she does. I would kind of rather see that. Again, not saying how it changes her. I don't know. Maybe it makes her an even worse person. I have no idea. But I'm kind of more interested in that than going the prequel route and just watching her do the evil witch thing for, I don't know, 8, 10 episodes, however long they end up doing it. Because, like I said, the evil witch thing, I'm not super interested. But we don't know a ton of details at this point. It kind of caught me off guard when I first read the announcement. In hindsight, it's actually very predictable. Because WandaVision was a big hit. People liked it a lot. Got nominated for Emmys. She got nominated for an Emmy. Agatha All Along is the big quotable thing from that. Yeah. When one of your most memorable things centers on a character who is not one of the main characters, you spin that off. That's just what you do. So, that's what they're doing. I'll be curious. I'll be curious to see who the supporting cast is. I'll be curious to see if they put her in a situation where she's the only really recognized character in a bunch of original situations, or are they going to pull in weird stuff from weird magic corners of Marvel? It's kind of what I'd rather they do, but I don't know. I'll have more of an opinion as we get more information, but I wanted to get my thoughts out there on just the fact that it's a thing! It's gonna exist! Okay. What do you think about the fact that Agatha Harkness is getting a spinoff? Whatever your thoughts are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. I got a Patreon if you want to support what I do. Keep the lights on around here, but no massive pressure on that. Like, share, subscribe, help me out as well. If you don't want to do that, it's okay too. Take a relaxed attitude around here, so just come on back next time you need a break. This video wouldn't have been possible without the support of my patrons, and I want to give special thanks to Jared Boyce, MJ, The Doctor, Tracy Scrabbit, Vincent Paul Bartolucci, Caitlin Schwartz, Edelon, Robin Moore, Ross Schultz, and Shayla Gorley. Thanks so much.